Shalom to you. I am Samuel David Spooner. What is your name, ma'am?
Erica.
That's a very nice name. It's so very nice to meet you. So tell me, what do you think happens after someone dies? What are some of your thoughts?
Multiple things. I mean, Christians believe they go to heaven. I personally am more spiritual, so I mean, it depends on what you want to do. Like, say you want to die and become a tree and give back to the world. You die and become a tree. I mean, it all depends on your personal views. Mine is, if I were to pass away, hopefully I become something in nature.
Okay. So you believe in a level of reincarnation?
Yes. To a point.
Okay.
To a point.
Is it like... Oh, she's fine. Is that like New Age, or is it kind of close to pantheism where like you...
I'm more borderline. It depends, because I grew up in a Christian and Jehovah's Witness home. Okay. So as I got older, I started to more get into the whole Bible, and I'm not joning on Christians. Like, I love everybody equal. Everybody's got their own beliefs. Yeah. I don't believe in one set thing. Okay. Not one person could make everything, and not one person can control everything afterwards.
Okay. I get what you're saying.
I love you too. Go play. I didn't know Go play.
So then who determines the rules? Who determines the rules then? Who of like nature and whatnot? Like, would it be something greater than ourselves?
My opinion, yeah.
Okay.
Most definitely, there has to be somebody. We don't control anything. We're just here. Okay. We are the only living, breathing things that have to pay to be alive. Everything else, it's free. So, I mean, who made a tree? Nobody knows. Nobody really knows what's going to happen afterwards. It may just be all dark, and we may just be all full of shit.
So you believe in some kind of God?
I believe in more than just one. That one person can, my opinion, somebody controls nature, somebody controls the seasons. More or less, we have gods and guardians versus just one God. Okay. My opinion.
Okay. Yeah, I certainly believe in a God. The reason I believe in a God is, how do I put this? Kind of the way that Aristotle, do you know who Aristotle was? Yeah, understudy of Plato, but he believed in an eternal universe. And today that's been disproven through math and stuff. But he said that there would still have to be some kind of being that is beyond the universe itself to sustain it. It would have to be one, because of how orderly the universe is. You know, if you actually study physics, quantum physics, you know, even just look at the gravitational force, it's so finely tuned. If it were messed with in any small way, there goes the universe. There goes all of us. So that's why I believe there's one God. So then...
Hold on, sis. You're fine. Get down. You got up there. You can get down.
It's okay. Don't be afraid. Just go slow. Yes. Don't jump. Just go slow. Do you think do you think there's some kind of afterlife, like after reincarnation? Like, is there some kind of end to it?
Honestly, no, because time isn't measured by anything either.
Okay. Because I know, like, Buddhists believe that, like, there is an ending to that, and Buddha taught that, like, you could become a god, essentially, just after so many reincarnations of being good and karma and all that.
After so many times of becoming somebody new, your time's in. Kind of like cats, got 9 lives. So in a way, I mean, yeah, I see that. You can reincarnate so many times until either you're done reincarnating or you're it. That's all you're ever going to amount to be. Because my view on reincarnation is it's the next step for you. Mm-hmm. It's what you didn't do in this life, you're going to go do in your next one. Mm-hmm. Or like our deja vu things, right. That stuff from we were already going to do, or something's like, hey, you're going to do this later on, or hey, you've already done this, do something different. You're going to mess something up again, or this is going to be great for you. It goes either way. Okay. Just like karma.
Do you have any basis for your beliefs? Like, what do you actually base all your beliefs on?
A mixture between paganism and spiritual.
Okay.
I don't want to say I'm a full pagan because there's some things that they practice that I don't believe in. Just like Christianity, there's some things that they believe in that I'm just like, hold on. You just said that you can't do that, and now we're going to turn around and it's okay to do it later on, but your main rule says you can't do it, but we're going to go ahead and do it. Just spin it a little bit so it looks right. And pagans do the same thing. There's certain rituals they do. I'm like, hold on, no, we don't do that because that opens a whole world to a whole mess of things. Because my view also is we're not the only living things. There's no way in the trillions of galaxies that we have that we're the only thing. Maybe we're a TV show for somebody else.
Yeah, you never know. I guess you'd have to be outside of the Matrix to know you're in the Matrix. So then, yeah, you keep mentioning Christian. When you said you were raised Jehovah's Witness and Christian, what exactly do you mean by that? Because Jehovah's Witnesses aren't necessarily.
So my grandparents, my grandpa and my uncle were Jehovah's Witnesses, and my grandma and my mom and my other uncle were all Protestant Christians. It was the way they were raised. My grandpa knew my grandma's beliefs and she knew his, but they were born in the 20s and the 30s. Back then, love was love. They didn't care. Oh, you don't believe in the same thing I do? We can't be together. Back then it was, I love you, you love me, let's go make a family and let's make a great life. They were together for 51 years.
Okay. And you said you've read the Bible before?
When I was younger, yeah.
Okay. Did you know it was the best-selling book in the world? Did you know that?
Actually, I did.
Okay. Why is it? Why is the Bible such a good seller? Like what's contained inside that's so profound?
Honestly, I don't really know. I know there's parts of the Bible that some people say that they won't read because it's the end of days and how everything's going to end. And nobody really wants to know how that's going to be. But no one actually knows how it's going to be. Those might just be signs. And my husband is a Christian and is, full, wholehearted Christian. Went to church all his life when he was younger. If we could still go to church now, we would. But we haven't found one that he likes. And I'm willing to sit down and listen to what someone else has to say because I'm open. I'm spiritual, so I'm more or less open-minded. Okay. I'll listen to what you have to say about Christianity, but I'm not going to sit here and fake pretend that I understand what you're saying. Mm-hmm. But he'll sit down and he'll break it down for me. And like my husband was even saying, there's not just going to be one way it's ending. And they have proven Jesus was real. The walking through the stars and everything when Jesus being born. Now, the whole virgin becoming a parent thing, that's still, I'm a parent. It still blows my mind on how that worked. But, that was trillions and trillions of years ago. Not trillions, but you know what I mean.
2000.
Yeah.
With Jesus being born.
Yeah, 2000. Yeah, about 2000 some odd years ago.
Feels like a trillion for us.
Yes, it does. 24 years has felt like an eternity to me so far, but it's been all right.
So, yeah, what's contained in the Bible is really interesting. If I could summarize it, it would just be the Old Testament. God promises to destroy death, and then the New Testament, he essentially shows how he's going to do it. Are you afraid of dying? Like, is that something that you fear? I know you kind of told me some of your beliefs already, but
to a point. Me, myself, no. I'm not afraid, but I'm afraid to leave my daughter behind and my husband behind without me because I'm the only solid thing she's ever had. What happens if I'm not here? What's going to happen to her? Okay. That's my biggest fear. I'm not even, if I could stop breathing, okay, that's fine. What's next? Mm-hmm. But I don't want to leave my family without me that still need me.
Mm-hmm. I know most people would say they're just not as much afraid as just anxious about uncertainty.
No one knows what happens once your heart stops beating. No one really knows what happens to you other than what we do for you.
Well, yeah, I always say that these kinds of things are kind of like investing. There's no, it's really hard to know anything for sure because just like I said about the Matrix thing, you would have to be outside of it. So you would have to be dead to know what's going on afterwards. So, but there are ways to study and to speculate, even just the way that what we're doing now, it's extremely healthy to talk about these kinds of things. And I think you know that too. So then, so I have a little more pointed questions now. Okay. I think you can handle them. Yeah. So the Bible talks about a judgment day. Have you ever heard of that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if that were real, if there's actually a judgment day after you die, do you think you're a good enough person for God to let you into heaven? Like, do you think you're a morally good person?
Honestly, no.
Oh, really?
Honestly, no. Yeah, no. He probably wouldn't. He'd look at me and be like, "You tried, but it wasn't good enough." And if
That's honest of you.
I've done a lot of things that I shouldn't have done. I mean, like I have 19 tattoos.
That tattoos is not a sin, but I mean,
Yeah.
unless you plaster like blasphemy on you, that
I mean, the most like worst thing I have on me is probably a goddess symbol, which is literally just two half moons and another moon put together.
yeah, I wouldn't say that's a sin. Have you ever lied though? Like say lied before?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How about stolen something? Have you ever stolen anything?
Sadly.
Okay. What about say blaspheme God's name? Like said, oh my.
More than I probably should.
Okay. Yeah, appreciate your honesty. Have you ever had looked with lust before? Like looked with someone with sexual desire or intent?
Yeah.
Okay. Sex before marriage.
I was 17 when I had my daughter, so yes.
So I appreciate your honesty.
All of them. I've nailed all of them at least once or twice.
Hey, I appreciate your honesty. Yeah, I'm
No
I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect either, and I'm not trying to judge you with this at all. I know it can feel embarrassing, but you know, say if you were to die today, a tragedy were to happen, and you were to end up before God, He's going to judge you, say by the Ten Commandments. Are you going to be innocent or guilty?
Guilty. Absolutely.
Heaven or hell?
I will probably be making fire my new best friend.
Okay.
I would love to be able to go up there and see my grandma, my grandpa, my daughter that I miscarried when I was younger. I'd love to go be able to see everybody.
Most people would.
Unless I sit there and I actually break it down and go back through the Bible and sit there and be like, all right, yeah, no, you got me. You can have me. One day, like I told my husband, because he said heaven won't be heaven if I'm not there. And with the way I view things, technically, I shouldn't be there. One day there might be a light bulb click that I might be, hey, I'm done fighting it. Let's see what's going on. Actually sit here. I've said it multiple times. If he's real, show me one sign. Show me something, not just, oh, well, I'm breathing. The sky is blue and it's not red and fire's not raining down from the sky. No, like, show me something just outstanding that I've never seen, or say it's a sign from somebody, like cardinals, like I just seen one fly. Those are supposed to be your guardian angels or family members that have passed away to come talk to you and be like, hey, you're okay. Hey, I'm here. I just want to let you know I'm still, checking on you. That's what cardinals are assigned for.
She's all right.
She's just mad she got back up there and kicked it down.
So it does seem to concern you a little bit if that were to happen to you. I've just met you, but I care about you. I wouldn't want you to end up in hell either. I think you're a very sweet person. And, the thing is, there is something that God did so we don't have to go to hell. In fact, you might actually know it. What did God do so guilty sinners wouldn't have to go to hell?
Sent his son down.
Yeah, you're right. He sent Jesus Christ. Most people know that, but they don't understand it. This is the big difference. And that light bulb you're talking about, if you can get a grip of this, that will turn on. And it turned on for me and for my family members too. So right before Jesus died, he said a word, or he said 3 words actually. Do you know what they were? It was like right before he dismissed his spirit.
I want to say it was, Father, please forgive me.
Yeah, everyone tells me that. That was one of the first ones, actually. So this was the second to last one.
I couldn't tell you.
Okay. It is finished. Have you heard that? It is finished.
Thinking back, because when I was younger, we did Bible school, and they would do the reenactment of Jesus's cross and everything on Easter. Honestly, I've never heard anybody say that until you said that. Okay. Now that I think about it, as much as I've been around it and I've heard about it, no.
Okay, well, hey, I can teach people new things, I guess. So
new every day.
Yeah, I know, right? So it's actually one word in Greek. It's tetelestai. So what tetelestai means fine paid in full. It's kind of an odd thing to say right before he died. See, the thing is, in the Bible, it actually says in Romans 6:23, the wages of sin is death. So God pays us in death for our sin. So Jesus was literally saying, I've paid for that death fine that God gives to all in full. Say if you were in court before a judge, you had speeding tickets against you, super huge fine, you couldn't pay it, okay? But the judge cared about you enough to send someone in to pay for that fine in your place because he loves you and he cares about you. And that's what he did. He cares about us so much that he sent someone who has the money and he paid for it in our place, even though we could never pay for it. And it's an obscene fine, especially one that I've stacked up huge. I can't pay it, but Jesus has paid it for me so that I can be let out of this judgment, even though I'm still guilty, but I can be let out because the fine's been paid. Justice has been done. So then all he asks of us is to trust him sincerely and repent of our sins also sincerely. Because if it isn't sincere, then, why are you doing it in the first place? So repentance, you probably understand that. It's confessing and forsaking your sins to God. Catholics will go to a priest, and Muslims will do it to either Muhammad or sometimes Allah, but every day. But it's all in vain. God says being sincerely sorry before him, as if you're sorry enough, you won't do those things again, or at least have the desire to not do them again, right? Like if I say I'm sorry to my mom for stealing a cookie before supper, right? She told me not to. If I do it the next day again, I wasn't sorry.
Didn't mean anything. Yeah, you're sorry didn't mean anything.
Exactly. I wasn't being sincere. So God asks us to be sincere of the heart and contrite before him. And then trusting in Jesus it's this simple. It's like if you were on an airplane and you say you had to jump 10,000 feet out. You're kind of afraid of dying. We all have to jump. But the thing is, I have this parachute on me and I know it can save me. And I'm telling you, you need to put on this parachute. It can save you if you trust it. If I hang you out the window and scare you a little bit, then you might realize you need a parachute. It would be the best thing I could do for you if you weren't, afraid of the jump, right? That's what I've kind of done talking about even just the 10 Commandments. I just talked through 4 of them. I don't want to offend you, but I want you to have a healthy fear of God, and that God's judgment is really hard on everyone, and it's sincere, and we know it in our conscience. But because there is that parachute, you don't have to have any fear in that jump anymore. You don't have to. A lot of people still do. But now you can jump with a boldness, and I know that for sure. I know 100% I'm going to heaven when I die, not because I trust in myself, not because I'm a good person, because I'm not, but because I trust in Jesus for my salvation. And you get what I'm saying? You understand?
100%.
So, I'm almost pleading with you. I really hope that you get a grip of this and that you even talked about that light bulb turning on. I can't force you. I can't, because then it wouldn't be sincere. But I'm telling you, at least think about this soberly. Over 150,000 people die every single day. God forbid you go home in a car crash and you leave your daughter and your husband. That would be terrible, But that's why you should know for sure. And then you can lead her into everlasting life too.
By herself, we have never pushed any religious beliefs on her. She wholeheartedly believes in God. Like that's her man.
Isn't that funny?
That's her main man. Yeah. That's her main man. Other than my husband and her biological dad, that's her main man. Those are her people.
That's great.
And she has even asked me, "Mommy, why?" And Mommy just doesn't. It just doesn't click with Mommy yet. One day, maybe.
I know it can be hard. I have a lot of co-workers that I've talked to them about this many times, and they'll even admit more stuff than you and be more sincere than you and talk to me about depression and suicidal thoughts.
I suffer from anxiety, PTSD. I'm bipolar. I have borderline personality disorder.
That's hard, isn't it?
Yep, and I have schizophrenic tendencies and dyslexic, and I have signs of a extremely high functioning autistic. Yeah.
Well, I can promise you that you sticking through this interview is probably because of the prayers of your husband and maybe some of your family too. I this is not an accident. I promise you that. Because before I came, I prayed that I would finally get an interview with this camera. You're my first one out here in the parks, anyways, because I did this all last year. First one out in the parks with this camera. I was praying to God, please let me talk to somebody because I really care about you. Just know that. Just think about this soberly and sincerely. So it was so great talking to you. God bless you.
Very nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you, and I hope you have a
Thank you.
great day.
Yeah, of course.